Us. I'm Sophia Lucia Parola with Garden State Film Festival. I'm here with Brian Silverman, this amazing filmmaker. We'll get to him in a second, but let me tell you about Garden State Film Festival real quick. We are in our 22nd year. This year, March 21st through March 24th, 2024, you can check out over 200 films coming from 14 different countries, all various topics, all various lengths, super creative, amazing screen lineup this year. And it'll be playing in Asbury Park, New Jersey and Cranford, New Jersey. Definitely check out what films we got at www.gsff.org. But one of the films you can check out is a feature film called Two Lives in Pittsburgh. Here to talk with me is director, writer, producer, and one of the stars of the film, Brian Silverman. Brian, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much
Oh,
for having me.
thank you for being here. Thank you for making Two Lives in Pittsburgh, and congratulations on getting accepted into Garden State Film Festival. It's no
Yeah,
surprise.
thank you. It's a total honor. I'm so excited to be part of that lineup.
Oh my God. I'm so excited to have this feature film in that lineup, and we're going to talk about why during this interview. But before we get into it, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Brian?
Yeah, sure. I've been in LA as an actor since 2000, and various roles in this and that. And before that, I was in a Peace Corps volunteer, originally from Pittsburgh, obviously because of Two Lives in Pittsburgh, and so just been been finally after all this time in LA, put together this film and so excited to share it with the world.
Oh my gosh. And can you share with us right now a little teaser, a little synopsis about what Two Lives in Pittsburgh is about?
Sure. So Pittsburgh in this film is kind of a stand-in for those middle American cities, and so it's about a blue collar guy who's uh, struggling with the passing of his mother and challenged by the child's exploration of gender identity. And how does a regular dude who's not necessarily fit or prepared for that type of experience deal with that?
Mhm.
And a lot of it comes down to uh, kind of a line in the film that of of you live your life, you do the best you can, and you just don't be a jackal.
Yeah. And sometimes that's easy and sometimes that's hard, and we see the challenge in this film. What was the inspiration? I mean, it's such a relatable story. It's important. I'm
Yeah.
so happy, as I said, that it's in the lineup this year because I think the more people see this, the better. So why did you want to tell this story? What was the inspiration?
So thanks for asking. There's a couple of reasons. One is, as an actor, writer, it's about what I think I could bring, right, and what I want to do as an actor. And so, the early kind of inspiration was Kramer versus Kramer. And if you remember that film, Dustin Hoffman has to deal with these changing understandings of what it is to be a man for him in the early 1980s, to raise a kid and to really be a father. And I thought, well, in today's world divorce is normal. Fathers being participatory in the raising of their children is normal. But the difference, I think, or the parallel to that time is what about this current exploration of gender identity, and how do you, as a person not expecting to have to deal with it, and maybe having biases, against it or preconceptions, how do you move through that challenge to become the person you're supposed to be and to love your family and your child fully? And so that's that part of the inspiration. And then um, the another part is I'm a special education teacher by day, and I've seen more and more kids uh, explore their gender identity. And sometimes the families are completely open to that, and sometimes the families are less so. And I think it's really interesting in this whole dynamic in the popular culture to explore the families that aren't as prepared, because it's not that they're that you know have a grudge. It's not that there's hate. It's that there's a need to open up the heart and a need to learn been presented to them before. And so I wanted
Mhm.
to explore that.
I love that. I love that. And Brian, how were you able to capture and really be accurate when it came to writing the script and when it came to playing your character and writing the voice of this amazing young actor we see, Emma, who we definitely want to talk
Yeah.
about, who plays the character Maddie in the film. How are you able to capture their voices and the script with justice?
Yeah. Well, with Bernie, I think it was easier, right? Because that's coming from a place of familiarity, right? And so his kind of challenges and experiences I'm familiar with, and part of them are within me. And then with regard to Emma, the actress that plays Maddie, that was an evolution. There was one we knew we wanted to cast a transgender actor, and so we were lucky enough to find Emma, and then to find that voice. I think there were two things. One is I had to recognize that I couldn't tell that story, right? That's not that trajectory and that life experience. I can't really tell, and so the movie is really the outside. It's Bernie's experience with it. Um, and then for the pieces and the parts that uh, we needed to find, there was a lot of writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting, uh, and the also the acceptance that there's the universality of being a child, and whether you're exploring your gender identity or whether you're not, uh, there's wanting to be loved, wanting to fit in, wanting to be who you think you're supposed to be, and so that's again something I felt that I could write. But there were parts we gave the script, and fortunately they were super generous with their time. We gave the script to Glad's transgender. I forget how they name the division, but um, uh, their division on transgender filmmaking and inclusion,
Mm.
and they gave us some notes. And some of the notes we took, some of the notes we didn't, but a couple were just so important and
Mhm.
really moved to change the script a little bit, that I think gave the character a much fuller truth. And in the end, when one character has more truth, everybody has more truth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like real life.
Yeah, absolutely. There were so many lines. I mean, I won't say it because I don't want to give it away, but it's just, as I said, it's just really important to see this film because so much of it, I was like, I've heard this before, and
Mm,
that's very important. So, talk to me about finding your amazing cast. Specifically, let's shout out Emma because I was just blown away by her performance, and I
yeah,
think that the story just molded it so well having her play Maddie. So, how did you find this cast,
yeah.
and how did you find Emma?
Well, so I'll start with Emma, and we put out a notice on Backstage West, and at first we noted that it was a role for a transgender girl, but at that time we didn't know what we'd get. There's as much as the population is uh, maybe growing or coming out, it's still it's always hard to cast kids, and then
Mhm.
how many 8 to 12-year-old transgender kids actually want to be at film and then are available to film in Pittsburgh for a summer. And so we just got super lucky. She sent an audition. It was wonderful, authentic. And then we were ready to go. And COVID came, so we had to uh, we had to put it on the back burner for a little bit, which was great because it gave us time to talk. We did a lot of like
Mhm.
Zoom, sometimes rehearsals, and sometimes just talking, so that
Mhm.
she'd have the film familiarity with me and with the ideas and the words, because it was all something new. And the other thing that was really important with that particular casting is, uh, we had to know the parents were great, and her
Mhm.
parents are great. Because it's a big decision. You could join a school play, or you could do a short film or something, but when you're in a film, it's going to be around for a long time, and we had to
Yeah.
make sure, and I had to make sure that the parents, you know, were comfortable with the pieces of the script that are sometimes uncomfortable.
Mhm.
There's a lot of language in there and a lot of situations that are potentially painful, but Emma just loved all of it. she was great. The cast and crew loved her. So we were just totally blessed to have her. And then the rest of the cast, I'm an actor, so I felt comfortable, running auditions. I had people submit, and some people I knew, such as Mark, who plays the teacher, and and so I had that one. I talked to him early on, and other people just came on through, and a couple of the guys, I wanted to get as many Pittsburghers as we could. So like Trevi, who plays D, and Mark is a Pittsburgher, and then the guys that play Jim and Frizz, Sky and Rob are Pittsburghers. So it was really wonderful.
That's amazing. And I can't leave out the crew. We love the cast just as much as we love the crew. Have you worked with some of these crew before, or were they all new people you collaborated with?
So I had worked with my producer. So I brought my two producers, Lola No and Tiffany Murray. So they came on early, and Tiffany is the DP as well. And we had worked together. I know Lola from an organization that we belong to, and then Tiffany had done a lot of DPing for different films that we make there. And so we had a tight collaboration. And then some of the people they had worked with before, and I hadn't, but a lot of people were new. And one of the great things about the crew is that almost everybody was stepping up. In the film industry, you're always trying to get that experience to move up that next level. If you've been an art assistant, to be the production designer. If you've been a gaffer, to be to move up on each level. And so everybody was getting to really stretch their wings. And I think I know everyone had a really fantastic time with that.
I love that. Definitely one of the things I love about indie films specifically is people get to explore what they've always wanted to do that maybe they can't get a chance. And amazing you've given the opportunity for people to do that. Love to hear it. So many questions. We're running the last 3 minutes. So let me ask you, you directed, you wrote this, you produced it, and you play Bernie in this film. How do you make this successful? I don't think this is the first time you've done that, right? There was another film that you starred in and directed and wrote that I believe that I saw in your bio.
I didn't write the previous one. I was just it was just a long-term collaboration between me and the two other filmmakers, Alim Hussein and Julie Kirkwood. And so I helped produce that, but I didn't write it, and I was an actor.
Okay, so this is kind of the first for you wearing all these hats. So what was it? What was the experience like for you, and how'd you get to that finish line? What made it successful?
I think I'm still running. I'm not sure I'm at the finish line yet.
You're right. But you're there. You're in Garden State Film Festival.
So I think a lot of it just came with. I think a lot of it just starts with the writing. We really worked on the script. Once I had a script to a place where I was confident with it, and once Lola and Tiffany were confident with it, then I think a lot of it from there, certain pieces fall into place. The pieces that I don't know about, right, as the parts of production that I don't know about, none of that falls into place. A lot that is just knowing to hire the right people,
right,
so that they can bring their skill to it. But as far as figuring out the script, the casting, a lot of direction, I think, is casting. And so I was comfortable with my cast. I was really confident in all of them. And then, I was super confident in what Tiffany and Lola and I had prepared, right? We worked really hard together, watching a lot of films and talking about shots and talking about what we wanted to mirror and things that we could take. So by the time we were on set, we had a huge shorthand. And then relying on them, because I didn't have time, it's an indie film. I don't have time to go back and look at every take. And so I had to trust myself as an actor and them as my eyes to say, hey, if we got it, we're moving on. And we did that, and we made every shot. We got our 20 days. We only went over by 1 hour one time because it was the night shoot. and we just had to wait
That
for
is very
it to
impressive.
be night.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
we did all right with that.
Amazing. Congratulations to you and everyone involved. My last question for you, Brian, is what are your hopes for people to see when they come out of watching Two Lives in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh? What are you kind of hoping they walk away with?
Well, there's a couple of material hopes, and then there's the kind of like uh, you know feeling hope. So the material hopes is that they'll tell other people to go watch it, right? And that they'll go and give it a bunch of stars on IMDb and all that. But the true hope of seeing it is for them, hopefully to have the same type of feeling that when I had when I watch, you know, Kramer or Little Miss Sunshine,
Mhm.
or Tootsie or uh, you know, Do the Right Thing, or the films that leave you with something and say, I hadn't I hadn't fully thought. This helps me feel differently about
Mhm.
this particular issue, and it made me laugh, and it made me connect, and it made me, uh, feel part of this human condition, and just expand that empathy just a little bit. And
Mm.
I think that'd be beautiful if uh, people smile as they think of this issue. That'd be great.
I love that. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, talk to all of us about Two Lives in Pittsburgh. And I really love, again, that we have this at Garden State Film Festival's 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival. So, guys, let me tell you how you can watch it. It will be screening Sunday, March 24th. The film block starts at 2:45 p.m. at Berkeley Hotel. Get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. Come see this beautiful film. Brian, are we going to have the honor of seeing you? Will you make it there in person?
My DP Tiffany Murray is going to be
Okay,
there in person. I don't think I'm going to make it out, but she'll be there in person, and she's fantastic. And
amazing.
I'm sure she'd love to talk with everybody who's able to attend the festival.
All right, Tiffany, we'll see you there. Congratulations again to you and everyone involved. And thank you again for talking to me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sophia.
My pleasure. I'll see you around. Bye, Brian. Bye,
Bye.
guys.